see that kind of slip away from you, the control of how you're doing
Defensively.
First half defensively.
Yeah, I thought we weren't, when we had trouble, we weren't as physical on the ball and into the ball. And I'll have to look through the tape and see where our ball screener was defensively, if we were back too far. But I thought the first half we had muddied that up for the most part and done a good job of stopping the ball and not letting it get downhill. But second half, from my angle, there was some alleys that didn't appear, that were there in the second half that didn't appear in the first half. So part of it's on the ball, of being physical and up into the ball at the time the screen arrives. Part of it's on where the ball screen coverage is, and then there's always either a plug or a backside bump and jam up. So credit to them to, got us spread out probably more, if I look through the tape, more than we were in the first half. And they were able to, obviously, those first 10 possessions is the difference in the second half.
If you look at the shooting numbers, you're going to say not good offense, but without looking at the tape, obviously, do you think you got some decent shots that you should normally hit?
Yeah, I thought we had wide open threes at the start of the second half, and you've got to knock those down. You're on the road, and then specifically with them making, at the start to the second half that they did. And part of that's credit to their defense. Their pressure they put on Chucky. He got to the rim several times. I didn't think we finished as well as we needed to, and he got hesitant. But yeah, we had several wide open looks to start the half that you have to make. You have to counter what they're doing.
You used the word hesitant. There were some blocks earlier, I think, by Jackson Davis. Do you think after that, it looked like you had guys driving and almost looking over their shoulder?
At times, yeah. At times I thought we were too hesitant, just didn't get to the rim and just go finish the play. We were worried about what was running behind us. So at times I thought we got there. Max got there and got a three-point play, but not enough of that.
Coach, talk about your team being down and keep fighting back. I asked Hoiberg kind of similar thing last night against up at Purdue when they were down, and his kids kept going and your kids kept going the whole time, big league. But what's it like for you to see your kids come back and continue to just fight and try to win?
You're not going to have every game. You want to see how guys respond when adversity hits, and to watch guys like Max Klesmit, Connor Sejan diving on the floor in the last couple minutes there of the game tells me effort is not our issue, and it's never been the issue with this group. I've never had to coach effort, execution, decision, some of those things, some tactical things. We've been better than we were tonight, or this afternoon, but the effort and how guys continue to battle, that's the character of those young men.
Coach, talk about your playing IU, that team. Obviously they struggled recently, last few games kind of struggled, but they came out today hot early on. But what's it like? What do you see in this IU team that you haven't maybe seen in some others?
Well, you got an All-American inside, so it starts with him, and he impacts the game on both ends of the floor. And I thought the first half we did a pretty good job on him. It was the second half that a combination of Shafino off-ball screens, either downhill offensive rebounds. I thought we did not do a good job on Geronimo, and he took advantage of. He knows his role, and he plays his role well. So that when we did get him to miss, we had some opportunities there to clean up the mess, and he was able to secure some of those offensive rebounds.
Thanks, Coach.
Sejan led the team with 14 points, but 4 for 13 shooting. I guess, how do you feel he's coming along just in this season?
I'm very happy with how he's coming. Yep. He got the most minutes he's probably had all year tonight or today, and he's showed me nothing to think that he shouldn't be playing a lot of minutes. So diving on the floor, he's gotten the attention of defenses. There's no doubt, but he moves out the ball. He creates stuff for others by his movement. 11 rebounds. Yeah, that's effort for a kid that's hasn't been in the weight room enough yet and will be. He's really taken advantage of his opportunities, and I got to make sure the opportunities don't decrease.
He handled yesterday.
Yeah, that was I never talked to him about it, but I wondered about that. But I thought once he settled in, yeah, that's always for guys, regardless of where they're from. If they come back home the first time or their home state, we've had guys that have, we go to Minnesota or other places that have to deal with that the first time, and then you move on from it.
Greg, I know we've talked about Tyler Wall ad nauseum with you, but what do you think once you do get him back, that he can help the way this team is playing right now?
Well, he's another post presence, which has a domino effect on everything else, So now you have to be aware of him along with Steve, and we have to shoot it better. It's not, Tyler will help in some ways, but we got to continue to get better. I thought defensively, like I said, other than that stretch at the start of the first half, we were better than we were previous game on Tuesday night. Offensively, you got to make shots, and I think Steve struggled. First time he struggled in quite a while, so he's got to get back on track, and other guys got to continue to step up.
Coach, talk about players stepping up. Obviously, Brad graduated, Johnny gone from last year. Who on your team this year is kind of stepping up, showing that leadership role that kind of Brad was the coach on the floor?
Yeah, well, that's Tyler. I mean, Tyler has been doing that. Chucky has taken more of an ownership piece of that. Max Klesman has done a good job for being a first-year guy. So those, I think with Tyler would be because he's the guy that has the most experience of anybody we have.
Jordan Davis had been solid for a good portion of the year. The last few games, quiet. What does he need to do to help you more than he's given?
I think just concentrate on things that don't involve scoring, cutting, rebounding, being a factor defensively, diving on the floor, those things. The things that Connor does aside from shooting, Max does aside from shooting. Those are where areas that he can continue to contribute to help this team.
Is there anything you're looking for from some of your more veteran guys, knowing that's not a ton of them, but to kind of just head this off and say, okay, this doesn't go any further?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about move on to next, and you have to have a short memory, whether things go well or they don't go so well, because within about 72 hours, we're playing a team that plays completely different than what we saw today. I mean, we won't see 8 threes. We might see 8 threes attempted in the first 4 minutes with how Penn State is playing. So we'll have to learn from this, watch the tape, learn quickly tomorrow when we get together, and then quickly turn the page and prepare in short order for Penn State.
Indiana helped a lot less today. Did that surprise you or change your game plan at all?
Well, when you're not knocking down threes, it's easier to help. You're not as hesitant to go help. You got to make some threes and spread them out a little bit, and then the help becomes a little hesitant. Do you go? Do you not go? But like I said, credit to them, they closed back pretty quickly when they did dig and help. Like I said, and we didn't do a good job of finishing through some contact at times that we have been finishing through. And like I said, Steve struggled, to say it mildly, and part of that's credit to Trace and how he played. It's a player with more experience. So I hope that this will be a very good learning experience for Steve, and he'll bounce back, and because he's played very well for us, and I know he wants to get back to doing that. Well, good. All right, thanks.